Thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Mansing. Well, the bell rang and public schools were officially in session this morning. School buses were on the roads. Some parents were seen escorting students on the first day back. Governor John de Jongh toured 4 public schools on St. Thomas: the Joseph Gomez Elementary, E. Benjamin Oliver Elementary, Ivana Udorican High School, and Ola F. Muller Elementary, before heading off to St. Croix, where he toured the campus of Claudio Marco Elementary School. Now, on the campus of Ola F. Muller Elementary, in a state content, de Jongh provided an overview of his findings at the various public school campuses. Acting Education Commissioner Donna Frett-Gregory and the department's leadership team were also on school tours today. Additional school tours are scheduled for later this week on St. Croix.
We're very much committed to making sure that our children have within their classroom the teachers that they need, and we're working hard to achieve that objective. Again, we're not cutting back in that area. We've allocated the resources, just a matter of identifying. But really the heartful thing this year as we begin the school year, and it's going to be a long school year, it's going to be an enjoyable school year, we have to make sure that our children have a chance to not only do what they have to in the academics in the classroom, but also the extracurricular, is that I encourage more than anything that the parents take part, not just in the first day of school, but throughout the entire school year as part of the parent-teacher associations, as part of Parent University. Get involved, stay involved, and just encourage your children, because as you encourage them, it makes it a lot easier for our school administrators and our teachers to be able to motivate them in the classroom.
Late last week, the Virgin Islands Department of Education officials released a statement that school buses would not be running today on the island of St. Croix. Thankfully, an agreement was reached. Buses are up and running, and News 2's Shanika Robinson has that story.
The Virgin Islands Department of Education officials released a statement last week that the school bus service would not be running in the district of St. Croix. Shortly after, a new statement was released that both the Virgin Islands Department of Education and Abramson Enterprises eventually reached a new 2-year agreement and reinstated the bus service.
The Abramson Enterprises was presented with an interim 2-year agreement from the Department of Education. That was because we couldn't come to final terms on a long-term 5-year agreement.
When the 2-year agreement seemed to have been final, there were still some concerns lingering in regards to the contract.
The Department of Education was current in its payments. We didn't owe any money, but there were some final financial terms and conditions that there was no consensus on, particularly the issue of having the department paying upwards of $300,000 in upfront costs before the contract was executed.
The Department of Education and the government's team were able to cut that upfront cost down to $150,000, and the current 2-year agreement will now allow the continuation of the school bus service on St. Croix.
It is inclusive of the last school year as well, so for the 2012-2013 school year and 2013-2014 school year. So the agreement then expires in August of 2014.
Shaniqua Robinson, News 2.
Again, according to the contract, the buses will be operating for the entire school year in the St. Croix district. Well, on Monday, Acting Education Commissioner Donna Frett-Gregory issued a back-to-school message to give an update on some new and exciting things planned for the school year and to offer best wishes for the first day of school.
This year, we will be improving upon our efforts, looking to provide everything from more professional development opportunities for teachers to more streamlined intervention programs for students in need of extra help. Meanwhile, our State Office of Special Nutrition Programs has been working on creating an exciting school lunch menu that we hope our students will enjoy. While our lunchrooms will still have more healthy food options, the department has been working this summer on new recipes that will boost the flavor and taste of the meals. We continue to rebrand the department, making ourselves more accessible to our biggest stakeholders, our parents and students. These efforts are anchored by a new website that is meant to help parents and the community at large interact more with the schools and the department, along with a new Facebook page that helps to give our community a quicker way of getting updates from schools. And to ensure that we are completely ready, we have continued with our year-round maintenance initiatives, which has over the summer months put everything from new paint to new playgrounds in our schools. And we have worked with other government agencies that would allow us to address some of our critical staffing challenges. I look forward to seeing what this new school year will bring for us, and I also look forward to seeing the benefits these new changes bring to the area of student achievement.
In other news, St. Croix police executed an arrest warrant for 21-year-old Anthony Schneider on August 30th, who was already in the custody of the Golden Grove facility in connection with the February 11th shooting. He is charged with possession of ammunition, failure to report firearms, possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute, and cultivating or manufacturing a controlled substance. On March 8, during the investigation of a shooting, detectives executed a warrant on an estate work and rest residence where Schneider was located and discovered a loaded black handgun, a loaded magazine ammunition, 59 grams of marijuana, 4 marijuana plants, and cash. Schneider's bail was set at $33,000. A 25-year-old man was arrested 3 days after he was identified as the person who shot a coconut vendor. Police say the victim told them that he was selling a coconut to the suspect identified as Keith Letzum. When Letzum finished with the coconut, he threw it at the victim, who threw it back. According to the coconut vendor, Letzum walked off, got into a brown Toyota Tercel, and fired shots at the victim, who was hit in the leg. Letzum was arrested on August 29th around 4 p.m. and remanded to the Bureau of Corrections. Meanwhile, St. Croix police are investigating the robbery of a man and woman on September 1st in Estate Friedensburg. The woman told police she was talking to a male friend around 8:45 p.m. when another man approached them and demanded money. When the woman's friend said he didn't have money, the suspect fired one shot and fled the area. No one was injured. Meanwhile, police on St. Thomas are investigating an assault September 2nd that left one man injured by gunshots.
Police said that they responded to the Schneider Regional Medical Center and spoke to a male gunshot victim who told them he was in his car and another male individual shot him several times. Due to his injuries, the victim was unable to give police any additional information. Both cases will be followed up by the Criminal Investigation Bureau detectives.
A federal judge has dismissed a case against the Department of Planning and Natural Resources and Insight Towers. St. Croix residents from the Mount Pleasant area initiated the case in June 2012 to halt the construction of a communications tower for AT&T in their neighborhood and to recover damages because of it. The landowners allege that the method by which DP&R granted the permits to Insight Towers violated their due process rights under the 14th Amendment. District Court Judge Wilma Lewis dismissed the case, agreeing with the defendants that the plaintiffs or landowners failed to exhaust all their administrative remedies before filing the lawsuit. Well, after the DLCA shut down the Metropolis Lounge, a popular St. Thomas nightclub, there were many explanations as to why. This time, we hear a response from the club owners. NEWS2's April Knight has details.
The recent shutdown of Metropolis Lounge in St. Thomas was a shock to clubgoers on the island, and many are asking why.
We received a request from the Commissioner of Police indicating that they had numerous calls over the last several months in regards to violence. It was becoming a public safety hazard.
Metropolis owners claim that the gravity of the situation was never made clear to them, starting with the hearing at DLCA.
We didn't really realize how serious this was until the date we had a hearing on August 2nd. If not, then we would have gotten a lawyer. We didn't even have all the information.
I would be surprised if they weren't aware, or maybe they complained, they just didn't read the complaint correctly, but everything would have been outlined in the complaint.
They also say they did tighten up security after reports of assault or crime. But the violence continued, which led to the eventual shutdown. Metropolis owners are saying, however, that they cannot be held accountable for all of the reported incidents of violence.
How are we supposed to know if somebody's car was broke into in the parking, in front of Pueblo, or if somebody got into a fight at the doctor pharmacy?
According to the Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs, Metropolis was stripped of its business license because it was attracting more criminal activity than any other nightclub on St. Thomas. But Metropolis owners disagree and offer their own theory on the matter.
The same people that visit Metropolis go to Stars and go to Clublet. It's the same people.
What we do, like I said, is we wait for the police to present the evidence to us. Now, they may be gathering evidence on other establishments, but this was the one that was presented to us at the time.
With other businesses also under the law enforcement radar, it seems that Metropolis Lounge might just be a start. April Knight for News 2.
No news yet as to the possibility of restoring the Metropolis license, but owners expressed their thanks to their patrons for their support while the club was running. Turn our attention across the seas. Many lawmakers have cut their vacations short and returned to Washington to hear the Obama administration make the case for using military force against Syria. President Obama has asked Congress to authorize a military strike that they will hold the Syrian president accountable for using chemical weapons against his own people. Coem reports from Capitol Hill.
Secretary of State John Kerry led Tuesday's effort on Capitol Hill to get lawmakers to support a military strike against Syria.
The Assad regime, and only undeniably the Assad regime, unleashed an outrageous chemical attack against its own citizens.
Kerry, as well as Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel and Joint Chiefs Chairman General Martin Dempsey, faced tough questions as they appeared before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee.
But I hope you'll give us even more clarity about our opposition strengthening, about how this is going to affect us overall.
Polls show most Americans are opposed to any new military action, and lawmakers are echoing the concerns of their constituents. The administration is using both these public hearings and closed-door briefings to try and change minds. The president sat down with congressional leaders at the White House Tuesday morning and said he's open to modifying the resolution authorizing a strike.
I would not be going to Congress if I wasn't serious about consultations and believing that by shaping the authorization to make sure we accomplish the mission, we will be more effective.
The president once again said that mission would be limited and won the support of the top Republican in Congress.
This is something that the United States as a country needs to do.
The House Speaker is encouraging all his members to support the president, but said passing a resolution to use military force will be an uphill battle.
And keeping our eye on the economy, shares of Microsoft fell about 4% in early trading after the software giant said it would buy Nokia's lineup of smartphones and license some of its patents. Investors are in a buying mood after the long Labor Day weekend. Stocks are opening the month of September with a rally on news that U.S. factories are busy. The report is a sign that manufacturing could strengthen in the coming months. This is a New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Everything up. The Dow 23, NASDAQ 22, S&P 6. Coming up on News 2, hundreds of St. Croix residents and visitors spent the last day of summer at the Agricultural Fairgrounds for the first annual mini harvest. That's coming up next. Many Virgin Islanders are mourning the passing of former Agriculture Commissioner Oscar E. Henry. Henry, a native of St. Croix and a well-known farmer, helped develop many programs that supported the territory's farmers. His own farm in Estate LaGrange was known for its mangoes, avocados, the healthiest livestock and sheep, and contained an old stone rental residence surrounded by well-maintained lawns. Henry served as Agriculture Commissioner under Governor Juan Louis, a post he took after 36 years of working for the federal government, including 24 years with the U.S. Customs Service. He's also a past president of the St. Croix Agriculture and Food Fair Committee. As a customs official, Oscar Henry was in charge of the port of Frederiksted. He was 97 years old when he passed away. Senator Myron Jackson is mourning the loss of VI Bambula icon Marianne Christopher. He said that Christopher was known for her tireless work in keeping the African dance alive. Christopher trained with Jeannie Sanderson and founded the Joseph Gomez Bambula group on St. Thomas, where she taught generations of women the Bambula. He said she was set to play the part of 19th century coal strike leader Queen Keziah for the 8th year of the Dollar for Dollar Culture and History Tour this month. Christopher died August 31st after a car accident in Maryland. She was 68. Our condolences to the families. Hundreds of St. Croix residents and visitors spent the last day of summer at the Agricultural Fairgrounds, and that's where the first annual Mini Harvest Festival was held for Labor Day Monday. Farmers had the opportunity to display and sell their locally grown produce, while food, drink, and dessert vendors sold callaloo, cakes, pies, tarts, and much more. There were also arts and crafts, jewelry, and toys, all on display. Two main attractions were the dogs who came out for the dog show and the cars and motorcycles all lined up for the car exhibition. DJ Swain and the world-famous Express Band entertained the crowd. Well, India celebrated its Independence Day on August 15th, and on August 30th, the India Association of St. Thomas joined the celebrations with a program at the Marriott Frenchman's Reef Ballroom. Leaders of the Indian community emphasized the value of solidarity, be it strong together, and the importance of charity by giving back to the community that they consider their home. At the end of the program, donations were given to UVI students as scholarships, to the Miracle Babies Foundation, the Lutheran Sister Emma Cottage, the St. Thomas Cancer Society, and the First Lady Cecile de Jongh's Children's Reading Program.
As the India Association magnifies its giving within a community that is truly made up of volunteers, is truly the richness of our community. Because irrespective of the hard times that we may have, Virgin Islanders by choice and by desire and by commitment always seem to volunteer.
We have been enriched by the India Association's commitment to cultivating, celebrating, and sharing Indian culture within the territory.
Well, lovers of ribs, music, and a good time were right at home at Above the Cliff on Cane Bay's North Shore on Sunday for the annual Mama Daya Rib Cook-Off. Chefs from 8 restaurants braved the heat while flipping racks of meat over hot grills. Rib lovers had many different flavors to choose from: the Pirates Tavern baby back ribs lathered in bourbon, apple butter, barbecue sauce, to the barbecue alligator ribs from Rum Runners. In between bites, people hit the dance floor to the music of the Croy Band. When the results were in, Chris Jordan of the Hotel St. Croix was crowned King of the Ribs.
The secret of my ribs is a dry rub, Texas style, with a light tangy sauce on the side. There are a whole lot of good ribs, and I'm very honored to have won.
Congrats to you, Chris. Well, according to the National Weather Service in San Juan, earlier today, a flash flood watch was in effect from Wednesday morning for all of Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. We'll have an update on that coming up from Bernie in the News 2 AccuWeather Center. Your weather forecast is coming up next.